Now, the news at 11.
Good evening, I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Allison Morris. 3 pranksters from Plainfield in a heap of trouble tonight trying to pull off a stunt on police.
Yeah, cops say they called 911 about a woman duct taped in the trunk of a car. Fox Connecticut's Louisa Moeller joins us in the newsroom with more on the gag that cost the police department valuable time.
Well, Brent, Allison, police say many of the officers who responded to this supposed kidnapping had just come off of a long night working at an armed standoff. So how serious this offense was, well, that depends upon who you ask. Here's how it all went down. 7 a.m., Cumberland Farms in Moosop, police responded to an alarming call.
Plainfield Police Department received numerous 911 calls about a possible abduction of a female.
Witnesses said the woman was duct taped and put in this car trunk. But when Plainfield police discovered the car, what they found was this.
An officer stopped the vehicle, and it was later determined that the 3 people that were inside the vehicle were the ones that pulled the prank.
Prank because police say the 3 young people involved, 21-year-old Danny Vinyl, 22-year-old Mark Reasoner, and 19-year-old Harley Jane Davidson, did it on purpose. And Chief Michael Suppernan says it took valuable resources away from real police work.
It's a danger to victims, it's a danger to society, and it's a danger to police who are actually working these scenes.
Now I got so many different people asking me what was going on.
We caught up with the pranksters to get their side of the story.
We got the random idea to have me get my hands and my legs tied up and get in the back of the trunk and just hop out as a joke. It was just a joke.
Why was this an option as opposed to, I don't know, going bowling or something?
Bowling? This was an option because that's just the way we are.
So it didn't occur to you that it could look like an actual kidnapping?
Well, see, what I figure though is, and this is me, right? If I see a kidnapping going on, I'm not gonna sit in my car. Whoever decided to call or whatnot just assumed it was a kidnapping.
Now the 3 are assuming charges of breach of peace and a second court date on July 22nd. Now, Vinyl, Reasoner, and Davidson were all released on $500 bond earlier today. Louisa Moeller, Fox, Connecticut.
Louisa, thank you. A Plainfield man will be arraigned on breach of peace charges tomorrow in connection with that morning standoff Louisa mentioned. Cops say Zachary Truelson armed himself with a shotgun and held them at bay on Cornell Road. They say he fired a gun when a woman he was arguing with left his home. She called 911. Police say more charges could be added against Truelson as the investigation continues. A man from Hartford is under arrest, charged in the city's 7th homicide of the year. Police say Omar Finch gunned down Javar Preston as he walked along Blue Hills Avenue on May 13th. No word on a motive. Finch is being held on $1 million bond tonight. Drug paraphernalia and dozens of bullets, but still no smoking gun. A 150-plus page warrant has been unsealed in the murder case against Bristol native and former NFLer Aaron Hernandez.
Hernandez and 2 suspected sidekicks accused of helping in the murder of Odin Lloyd remain behind bars tonight. According to the warrants, police have surveillance video showing Lloyd getting into a car that matches the description of one rented by Hernandez the very night Lloyd was shot dead in a gravel pit lot a half-mile from Hernandez's home.
Now, during a search of the home, police found a scale and dish used to weigh drugs, along with dozens of bullets locked up in a safe, but did not find the murder weapon. 2 cell phones and 3 iPads were also seized from Hernandez's home. One of them had a call history showing Lloyd's number.
Investigators also searched Hernandez's locker at Gillette Stadium, though there's no indication that they found anything in it. The warrant also shows a car that Ernest Wallace was driving the day of the shooting was rented in Hernandez's name. Investigators say Wallace and a man named Carlos Ortiz both met Hernandez in Massachusetts the day that Lloyd was killed. Today, Ortiz was ordered to be held without bail until his next court appearance in August. Ortiz has pleaded not guilty to carrying a firearm the night of the murder, but allegedly told police that he did possess a gun in the area of the crime the morning after. Wallace, who faces accessory to murder charges, was ordered to be held without bail yesterday. And for the latest developments in the case against Aaron Hernandez, log on to foxct.com.
A packed courthouse is expected in Boston tomorrow as bombing suspect Johar Tsarnaev makes his first public appearance. The Boston Herald reports all of the accused bomber's victims have been notified and courtroom space is being reserved for them. Tsarnaev was indicted last month on 30 counts, including use of a weapon of mass destruction in connection with the twin blasts at the finish line of the marathon on April 15th. 3 people were killed and hundreds were injured. The 19-year-old is also accused of killing an MIT police officer. Tsarnaev's older brother, Tamerlan, died in a shootout with police days after the attack.
Disturbing notes allegedly sent by the KKK left on doorsteps in a Milford neighborhood this week. The flyers announced a new neighborhood watch program and read residents can sleep well tonight knowing the United Klansmen of America are awake. Police are investigating the incident but don't believe the flyers promote a legitimate program. Local civil rights groups say they're not surprised.
We've seen the white wolves, we've seen the skinheads and the KKK in this particular area, so it's no surprise to us.
Milford police want to hear from anyone who saw people dropping off those flyers. The city of Hartford seeking $3,000 in restitution from the mayor's former chief of staff for damages to a city vehicle that should not have been in his possession.
Yeah, we told you last night Jared Kupiak is under investigation for using a city-issued car 2.5 weeks after he stepped down from his post. Cops were investigating several car break-ins along Capitol Avenue when they found the vehicle registered to the city parked in front of Kupiak's home. Now, Mayor Pedro Segarra calls the incident disappointing.
He did exit our office on his last day, turned in his iPad, turned in his phone, turned on all his keys. The car was parked here at the library. It was not to be used. He did so without any authorization whatsoever, and that's not acceptable.
And more questions could be headed Kupiak's way. He actually told reporters in April of 2012 that the mayor had asked him to return the SUV then and that he would start using his personal car. And the mayor's office confirmed tonight that as of the fall of 2012, Kupiak was still using a city vehicle. City officials will wait until the police investigation is wrapped up before pursuing the reimbursement. Kupiak left his position after coming under fire for charging a $700 New Year's Eve dinner to his city credit card. A brush with death for a Tolland family when a tree came crashing into their bedroom overnight.
Fox Connecticut's Bo Berman joins us with more on the close call. Bo.
Yes, Brent, Allison, the homeowner here, Steve Sattler, says his daughter is lucky to be alive tonight. She just happened to be away from home the one night a tree collapsed onto the roof and a branch came crashing through onto her bed where she would have been sleeping. But perhaps the strangest part of this whole thing is that it wasn't one of these recent wild storms that sent it crashing down.
It was 7 a.m. when Steve Sattler awoke to find his home under attack.
I ran outside. Oh my God, what the heck happened?
A tree had toppled onto his roof, branches shooting through the ceiling and several walls.
This was so dangerous.
But it was the damage inside that still scares him, a limb landing on his daughter's bed.
Her head would have been right there.
But thankfully, she spent the night at her grandmother's house.
If she had been home that night, I don't know, this would have been a tragedy.
Tolland's fire chief John Lytle responded quickly.
The trees have weakened. The rain is making it worse. Here's a simple situation. There was no wind. There was no storm damage this morning. It came down on its own.
Steve spent the rest of the day with crews taking down weak trees and chopping off loose limbs.
If you see any splitting, unusual tears in them, you should definitely have a professional look at them.
As for Steve, it's the scare of a lifetime that's left his living room looking like a lumber yard and his family on edge.
We can move back in, but, it's going to be several days before we can do anything.
Now, the fire chief recommends that all homeowners check their land, check the trees around them, and remove any that are close to the house and appear to be questionable, trees that have been damaged in the past or might have loose soil after some of the downpours we've seen in the past couple of weeks. Reporting in the studio, Bo Berman, Fox, Connecticut.
Thank you, Bo. Minor relief today as far as the heat goes.
Yeah, Rachel says a front on the horizon may actually help us toward the end of the work week. So let's check in with her now in the Weather Center to see what's coming our way. Rach.
Guys, not until Friday. So as long as you keep that in the back of your mind, not until the end of the week. The next couple of days will continue to be humid. We'll see scattered showers and storms. And any thunderstorm that develops, just like we have seen the last couple of days, we could see some poor drainage, flooding. I know Cheshire ran into some issues today. So did Newtown and Bethel. So the storms continue tomorrow. Thursday, Friday, the front sweeps through, and then we get that relief that I've been telling you about and teasing you about. The relief, though, doesn't last for too long. I'll explain. I've got your full forecast coming up in just a bit, guys.
All right, thank you, Rach. It may be July 9th, but we still have fireworks to look forward to.
Hartford's Riverfest fireworks have been rescheduled for next Thursday. A week from this Thursday, they were postponed because of unsafe and unusually high river conditions last weekend. Organizers said the swift water would have made it nearly impossible to secure the barges that technicians used to shoot off the fireworks. The new date is July 18th at 9:30 p.m. Next at 11, the Stars and Stripes tossed out in the trash what went wrong and why Pratt & Whitney is coming under fire tonight.
And lights could mean dollars in Middletown. The bright idea to attract tourists, but is the town ready for the spotlight?
And it took years of planning, dozens of volunteers, but tonight it becomes a reality in Middletown. The tribute to the lives lost in 9/11. That's next. Stay with us.